I studied my degree at the University of Oxford at Lady Margaret Hall College to be exact, and I often get asked about what the interview is like. First of all, you have to go down to Oxford for the interview, and you stay in halls and you are there a few days. And it's kind of nice because you get an experience of what it's actually like and what it would be like to live there. You were usually told you'll be there at least 2 days, maybe 3, maybe 4. It was quite open really. I had kind of an expected date that I would be done, but they said it might be extended beyond that, but that'd probably be the time I'd be needed for. And it's quite unusual because you get there, you get shown to your room, everyone's really lovely, or they were in my experience anyway, and yeah, you get told where your room is, where you can go to eat at the dining hall in the evenings, very much just like you're a student there. Every day they would put up in the morning a notice on the board downstairs that we had to check every morning, and it would say who'd been called on that day and where your interview was. So you had multiple interviews whilst you were there. So in the entire time I was there, I actually only had 2 interviews, but I know people that had as many as 5, and there never really seemed to be any real correlation. There was some of us that got in having only had 2 interviews, some that got in having had as many as 5. One of mine was very sort of psychology heavy, the other was very statistics heavy and maths heavy. One was an interview with 2 people and me, in which one person asked questions and one just wrote notes, and the other was 2 people both asking me questions. And in one of the interviews, you got what we call the Oxford question, the famous Oxford question. It is a question that has no answer. There is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. It will be a question that has not yet been discovered, and they just want to see if you can come up with what you think would be the answer. Can you debate it? Can you give a educated guess based on what you do know as to what you think we might find if we studied that? And you have a bit of a debate on it, and it's quite scary. And I got one about these things, but you can't prep for them because you have no idea what your Oxford question is going to be. Mine was, do field mice have personalities? And obviously you can't just say yes or no. Everything has to be justified with evidence based off things that you know. I had a friend who interviewed with the same person, and her question was, do dolphins have language? And she'd never studied language before, but they don't want to know if you're going to be right or wrong. They want to see how you answer under pressure, what sort of things you can think about, come up with. That's my Oxford interview. There's so much more I could talk about. If you've got any other questions, I know people have asked me to talk about this. If you've got any questions about the Oxford colleges, about food, student life, anything at all, please just ask.